In today's video, we explore a critical question. Is the climate crisis genuinely as dire as portrayed, or is it being exaggerated to advance radical political agendas? As we dissect the overwhelming scientific consensus and robust evidence from various disciplines, we'll examine the role of organizations like the IPCC and the impact of media framing on public perception. We'll also delve into the complexities of political polarization, economic transformations, and regional uncertainties while considering different policy responses and the need for international cooperation. Join us as we seek to navigate the fine line between urgency and pragmatism in addressing one of the most pressing issues of our time. 1. Overwhelming scientific consensus. The scientific community is largely in agreement about the reality of climate change. More than 97% of climate scientists agree that climate change is happening and is primarily driven by human activities, particularly the emission of greenhouse gases. Organizations such as the National Academy of Sciences and the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, have endorsed these findings, providing a solid foundation for understanding the crisis. This consensus is vital because it underscores the seriousness of the situation, even though some skeptics argue that the scientific community may have ulterior motives. 2. Robust evidence from multiple disciplines. Climate change isn't a theory based on a single piece of evidence. Instead, it is supported by a wide range of observations, including rising global temperatures, melting ice sheets, shifting weather patterns, and ocean acidification. These observations come from independent research groups worldwide, using various methodologies. Each piece of evidence adds another layer to the overall understanding of climate change, reinforcing the need for action despite some claims that the evidence is overstated or manipulated for political purposes. 3. IPCC assessments and peer-reviewed research. The IPCC is a leading authority on climate science, synthesizing findings from thousands of peer-reviewed studies. Their reports provide detailed insights into current climate trends, future projections, and potential consequences of inaction. These assessments are considered reliable and well supported by data, forming the backbone of global climate policy discussions. However, the complexity and sheer volume of information can sometimes fuel skepticism, as critics question whether these assessments are part of a broader political agenda. 4. Media framing and public perception. Media coverage plays a significant role in shaping public perception of climate change. Some outlets focus on dramatic predictions or uncertainties, which can lead audiences to believe that the crisis is overhyped. On the other hand, many argue that urgent coverage is necessary given the stakes involved. The way climate change is framed in the media can either enhance public understanding or contribute to misinformation, complicating efforts to address the issue effectively. 5. Political polarization. In countries like the United States, climate change has become a deeply politicized issue. Different political groups interpret evidence in ways that align with their ideological and policy goals. Critics from certain political perspectives claim that the climate narrative is exaggerated to justify sweeping regulatory or economic reforms. This polarization makes it difficult to achieve consensus on climate action, even though the underlying science remains largely uncontested. 6. Economic transformation and interest groups. The transition from fossil fuels to renewable energy entails significant economic changes. Some argue that emphasizing climate risks accelerates policy changes that benefit renewable energy sectors while disadvantaging traditional energy industries. Proponents of this transition assert that it is necessary for long-term environmental and economic sustainability. This debate highlights the complex interplay between economic interests and environmental priorities, raising questions about who benefits from climate policies. 7. Uncertainties in regional projections. While the overall trend of global warming is clear, projecting specific regional impacts and extreme weather events remains uncertain. Skeptics often point to these uncertainties to question the urgency of policy responses. However, scientists argue that uncertainty does not justify inaction, given the potential risks. This tension between uncertainty and the need for decisive action is a central theme in the climate debate, influencing both policy decisions and public perceptions. 8. Policy responses reflect different risk tolerances. Governments around the world are adopting diverse strategies to address climate change, from carbon pricing to investment in green infrastructure. These strategies reflect different assessments of risk and economic priorities, rather than a denial of the underlying science. The varied approaches highlight the challenges of balancing urgency with pragmatism, as policymakers grapple with the complexities of climate action in a rapidly changing world. 9. International cooperation and agreements. Global initiatives like the Paris Agreement represent a broad international effort to mitigate climate change. This agreement is based on extensive scientific research and is supported by a wide array of countries, indicating that concerns over climate change extend beyond any single political ideology. International cooperation is essential for addressing a global problem, but it also raises questions about national sovereignty and the effectiveness of multilateral agreements. 10. Balancing urgency with pragmatism. The discussion around climate change isn't just about acknowledging the threat but also about determining how aggressively society should respond. Critics argue that the issue is overhyped to push radical agendas, while many policymakers and scientists emphasize the need for proactive measures. Adaptation and mitigation strategies are crucial to managing risks that could lead to severe economic, social, and environmental consequences. Finding the right balance between urgency and pragmatism is a key challenge in the ongoing climate debate.